welcome to Let's Grow Shopping. Apart from today is not really growing shopping. For those that know me, you know you probably know I don't mind a stroll. I've been wanting to do this for ages, but I was thinking I was going to do the opposite way. But I've just been to my wife's office in Ultimo. I'm on Harris Street at the moment, just left there, and I think I'll walk home, slow down and take in the city for a while. Hopefully my body can hack the 30 kilometres back to Mount Colah. I'll be in touch. First stop, Darling Harbour. I must come here about once every 6 months or so, and every time I come here there's something different. Except this time there's something really different. They demolished a whole side of it. The shopping centre, all the restaurants, everything. And they're going to chuck in some apartments. Because we need a few more apartments. Talking of change. At first glance you'd think that's just another building in the city. When I came to this site, we're on Cumberland Street, right next to the Bridge Highway. When I first came here in 1997, it was a building site, and the reason it was a building site is because they'd found archaeological remains where they wanted to build the building, and so they had to stop building and look at everything they'd found. And what they found is something pretty amazing. I'm just going to walk this way. Yeah, they found evidence of all the old buildings that used to be here, with about 1 million items of stuff, essentially, and like a bit of an insight in the way people used to live. But you can see through this window sort of evidence of all the old sandstone footings, and it's still an ongoing project. With there's an education centre here. There's loads of sort of boards around explaining people's stories and what used to be here. It's quite fascinating. Never seen it before. And there's all these these are just some of the artifacts that people have dug out. So Berry's Bakery used to be here. There's a whole story about people used to bring their Sunday roast to the bakehouse for them to bake it in their ovens for 3p. And you can go inside under the building and check out the foundations in more detail out of the light. Absolutely incredible. But amazing they found a way of keeping the site sort of intact and just put a building over the top of it. Amazing. It's a YHA hostel if you're interested. Halfway over the Harbour Bridge. You used to be able to get up that pylon when I first got here for $2, and now it costs you 30. And it's about, I don't know, I think it was about 450 or $600 the last time I checked out the bridge climb. They don't miss you these days, and neither do them security guards if I wanted to jump off. And I'm just making this little video because what I'm about to video, a lot of middle class white people will go, that's a bit depressing. And I guess it kind of is, but it's nowhere near as depressing as a whole generation of kids being forcibly removed from their parents within my parents' lifetime. And a lot of the beliefs and systems that were in place then are still alive and well in our government and Parliament House here in Sydney, or here in Australia, sorry. And in much of the world. It's happening in America as well. And yeah, so I thought it's about time I put my views out there. Good afternoon, or good morning, and welcome to Let's Grow Shopping. The backdrop's kind of pretty, eh? right next to where the Prime Minister lives, where he comes when he comes to Sydney. Kirribilli Point. The sad thing is I've come to not really like coming here at all. When I see all that, the only thing I can think of is how many cubic kilometres of someone else's land has been dug up to make all those buildings, roads, cars and boats. Usually that someone else has been paid peanuts so we can make it as cheaply as possible. How many cubic kilometres of stuff pours into this place every day just to keep people living here who work in industries that humans have invented out of thin air to make money from thin air, such as insurance, real estate, stockbroking, superannuation and banking. To work in technology industries which include solar and electric vehicles that can't exist without continuous mining of someone else's land in order for us to be continuously virtually connected and entertained, or as I call it, distracted. How many cubic metres of this stuff just gets thrown in the bin to be dumped on someone else's land for them to deal with? How many square kilometres of someone else's land goes into producing all the fruit, vegetables and meat that's consumed here every day? Usually paying the farmer as little as possible while they pay for cubic kilometres of chemicals to pour on the degraded land and feed the animals, which then go into us before we go into hospitals and ingest yet more chemicals. How many cubic kilometres of yet someone else's land is dug up for as little expense as possible to make those chemicals that are polluting the water and air and killing our only life support system? I think of the people who used to live here without any of this stuff. The people who were and still are forcibly displaced here and around the world, so people like me can maintain what we like to dress up as progress. I'm not naive about my continuing personal role, which is eroding me from the inside. Something has to give somewhere. All this is not everlasting. I would rather change by choice rather than because someone or circumstances force me to. How do we make a difference? Well, we've got council elections coming up. We could start by living on the edge and vote anyone apart from Liberal or Labour just to shake the status quo and get people to wake up. We could grow all our food as locally as possible and become connected to the place we call home and the people who live there. Start living like we mean it, instead of lurching from distraction to distraction so we don't have to think about it. Write ourselves a new story with soul. We don't have to wait for anyone's permission, and no official is going to ask us to do it or make us to do it. Our conscience is the only voice we need to hear, and everyone already knows what it's telling us. Take a moment right now to slow down, listen to it, and start being the change you want to see in the world today, not tomorrow. This diatribe was authorised by the right honest Michael Hughes. Let's Grow Shopping. I've been coming through the streets of North Sydney, which are very lovely to look at. No food trees, but came across this little gem. Streets Alive, a North Sydney resident programme, a little copse of trees, natives with places to sit and chill out, and pot plants. Fantastic. Loving it. Again, bit of a pity there's no food in here, but definitely better than nothing. Just been through the St Leonard's Artarmon industrial mega complex and now passing over the freeway. Get in there. Woohoo! I have just walked from Ultimo pretty much to Chatswood. I can see the skyscrapers of Chatswood right in front of me, about, 10 minutes walk away. And those are the first pieces of fruit on a tree I've seen the whole way. And I've been avoiding the Pacific Highway on purpose to try and find edible gardens. They are few and far between. Yeehaw! Come on Sydney, where's your fruit trees? Linfield Harris Farm, got it going on and on and on and on. Whoa, somewhere north of Linfield, just looking at macadamia flowers. There are millions of them. There's this enormous tree and it's behind that the main macadamia tree, and yeah, in full bloom. Fantastic. The North Shore is home of some stunning buildings and stunning trees like this one. Amazing. Look at this environmental disaster zone. Whenever you see something like that, that is a sure sign Roundup for pesticide. And if you look at the landscape down here, you're going into a gully, so all of that is getting washed straight into, even on the verge right where I'm stood, it's all bamboo and they've Roundup the whole lot. And yeah, just goes straight into the watercourse and off down into the bush and ocean, killing everything in its path. And it doesn't really break down. Lovely. Gonna take a little break, I think, at the lovely flowery and leafy Gordon Recreation Ground. Flowers upon flowers upon flowers. And here's a little entrance pergola. It's about 2 o'clock. It's supposed to be a roughly 7-hour walk, 30 k's, city to Mount Colah. I've been mucking about doing videos and having breaks, so I reckon it's going to be more like 8, so I'm probably about halfway through now. Anyone for tennis? Just past Gordon Town Centre, come across this loquat tree with loquats doing better than mine at home, in full shade pretty much. How do they do it? Answers on a postcard, please. Well, I'm just at that same house and on the verge, and there's about 5 or 6 loquat trees all around the outside of the house, and this one's got ripe ones on it. It's full of fruit, and on the sunny side are the ripe ones. Amazing. And for the first time ever, I'm going to try one. I've never had one. Pretty damn good. Thick skin, big seeds, but definitely worth growing. And yes, no brainer. The birds propagate them. Love it. Hello again. Just had to cross Mona Vale Road. Good grief. It's only when you're walking you realise how well we've cut each other off from various places by massive roads with nowhere to cross them. I've had to walk like 10 minutes down the road, over at the main lights with the Pacific Highway, and then I'm going back because I kind of refuse to go up the Pacific Highway while I don't have to. Yeah, nightmare. Pymble, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you a story. Back in the day, I used to work in the city and get drunk on a Friday. And we lived in Lane Cove, so I had to get off the train at Artarmon. And twice, I fell asleep on the train on the way home at like midnight and woke up just at Pymble both times. And back then, I had no idea what was beyond Chatswood. And so Pymble was like going out into the bush for me. And so I rung my now wife, drunk as a skunk, "Pymble, where am I? Pymble!" And she gave me the sage advice, just cross the platform and get the next train back. So I did, twice. I'm having a walk along the Pacific Highway, very noisy, very nerve-fraying, as you can hear. Old school wall, and look at what's happening to it, because old school tree is starting to shove it over. massive. Unfortunately, the old school wall is enclosing new school rubbish unit block behind. One day we'll get it right. Hello everybody, I just came into Turramurra and stopped at Kipling's garage to have a few beers and charge my phone up. I've not had a beer during the day for a long time, and I think I earned it today, and found this cool pavement art on the outside. I hope you can see it because there's so much glare on my phone I can't see a thing. Alright, back on the road. Well, we've arrived at Wahroonga, and more specifically Wahroonga Park. And this place, like quite a lot of houses in Wahroonga, is exquisitely manicured, full of flowers, and unlike a lot of parks, which you can see from my film, people actually use it. Like, I've come here quite a lot in the past, and there's always people sat on benches chilling out. Like, it is a great park. It's not enormous, but man, it does its job. About 2 minutes walk from all the shops and cafes. It's a great place to be. Never mind coming here. The train station's just behind that bus as well. So yeah, easy to get to, and in that direction over there behind that sort of I don't know what it is, boardwalk thing, there is an awesome cafe restaurant that I went to a while ago, the Coonabarabran Cafe, I think it might still be called. It's on Coonabarabran Road. Yeah, fantastic place, love it. Crossing the freeway between Wahroonga and Hornsby. Mount Cole is the first exit off this freeway, so I've probably got about, I don't know, 4 k's to go. I think it's probably about an hour's walk, maybe tops an hour and a half from here. We are definitely on our way home. I can almost smell the mountain of Cola from where I stand. In the absence of seeing a decent veggie garden this whole trip, I thought I would just come by here, seeing as I was in the neighbourhood, which is my local, well, local, it's an hour's walk away from home, but it's my local community garden. And this place is amazing. The people who manage this, mostly ladies, do a fantastic job, and it's looking almost like a market garden. So I'm in the sort of veggie bed enclosure, which is all fenced off due to people pilfering stuff. But up there is all the fruit trees, which are not fenced off. And yeah, I'm going to do a full-length video on this place and hopefully introduce some of the people who manage it. Awesome. If you can get down here to volunteer, that would be fantastic. That is a sight for sore feet. We're on the home straight, nearly there, just got a bit of the mountain to go, and I'm home safe. It's just about getting to sunrise, sunset even, sunset. 7.5 hours in the saddle, you can tell I've had a big day. 7.5 hours in the slow lane, more importantly. Yeah, hopefully get home and give you a final wrap up with the sunset. Absolutely stunning. Waratahs, New South Wales national flower, I think it is. Definitely Mount Colah School's flower. Hello, back at the ranch. Awesome. That's my hip, thigh and buttock workout for the month done. I have earned a beer. Yep, sun going down. I think it's about, 6 o'clock. That's a long day. Just want to shout out to Connie and Terry and say thank you for the offer of a cuppa and a relax, but it was a bit of a detour at the wrong end of the day, but thank you all the same. And I'll be putting the whole film on Facebook. Thank you for watching. If you've followed me all the way, you're legends. I will sign off. Thank you. Let's go shopping. I am home.